The track is finally here. Welcome to Quartzville Railroad video number 6. Today's video, we're going to talk about the yard section and actually start getting some track installed in there. I got some things to talk about, things I need to work through and get things figured out. But I think it's a good video and I hope that you all enjoy it. Okay, another item I'll mention is I now have in here, despite all the mess, the 2-inch foam all the way around. So all the way back in there, all along this wall on these shelves into the back corner, and then even across the door. I got my lift out section in there and some 2-inch foam on there. It's got a little bit of give to it on both sides, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. All I do now is get some tracks on here, get some trains going. And just talk about this. Also, this is the heater that I have going right now. It's a little bit cold today. Got it working right now. It works absolutely great. Heated up this room in just a few minutes, and it's been nice and comfortable working out here this afternoon. So the thing that came in the mail was the track, and this is some of it. I bought lots of Kato Unitrack, which is what I use for the curves and the turnouts on my layout. So over here we have left-handed turnouts and right-handed turnouts, and then curve radiuses of different radiuses. So those are going to be used on the layout. I like using this. It's just easier than trying to make your own turnouts, which I have done in the past, and they work, but they're kind of a pain to do. And I've discovered just spend the extra money and buy the turnouts on my own and just stick them in the layout, and they're good to go. Kind of the same thing with curves. They're okay to do with the flex track, but just easier long term just to buy the radius that you need, you know what you have, and make the curves and make it happen. All right, let's go check out where the track's getting laid. All right, over in this section, which I'm in the corner here, is where I'm going to be putting in the yard. It's going to be right in here, and I'll talk about all these different areas right now. So starting off right here, this is the section is going to be the big start of it is right in here. I'm going to tie in a couple of these curve sections into the current layout or the peninsula right here. That right there is where I have the feeder wires coming up to power it, so I'm going to have to find a way to connect the curve section with the straight section, and I might do that by adding another straight section across there, or just connect the curve section directly to it. Still trying to figure that out. I can definitely have a straight section in there in the middle, and then bring it over here to where the curve section then joins the shelf layout and heads on down 15 or 16 real feet down to the door. So back in here, this is where we'll have just some beginning of the switching action here. Right here, this turnout is going to join up to the top section and that other curve, which will eventually hook around. And I'm hoping this will be some kind of a mountainous area, so this will have some elevation gain and end up way over there, 8 or 10 feet away, 8 or 10 real feet away over in the other side. But for now, I'll probably just tie it in and leave it there. This second turnout right there, that will actually be going into the yard. Actually, that'll be the not the yard lead, but just kind of a track to get into the yard. The main line is the straight track, and then this final turnout right here, where it's the right-handed turnout, it's actually going to be to a passing siding or an interchange track, which will expand the distance all the way down there. So let's take a look at that section. Okay, so these two turnouts are going to be at the back end of the yard, basically. So this top one right here is going to be the one that actually goes into the yard. It'll actually be on a yard lead, and then that'll be the way to access it to get out of the yard onto the main line, which is the straight section. The left-handed turnout right there is going to actually be the other end of the passing siding or interchange track, depending upon how it's going to be used. So only two down on this end, so not too complicated. Now let's talk about the more complicated section there in the middle. So this is going to be the much more complicated section with several turnouts here, just all connected right now. It's all turnouts, no straight sections or other curved sections, just all turnouts. So the main line is actually this straight section right here. That's the real main line So the passing, siding, or interchange track will actually be below that, going in there. So this first turnout is just basically a crossover to get up into the yard, or into the yard lead. So down here, this section right here, right there, will be the yard lead, connecting down a ways, down to this track here. And then these other sections that I have, those are all going to be the turnouts for the different yard tracks. And it looks like I have 3 yard tracks right now. I might be able to put another one up at the top. I'd like to leave the top one as a maintenance away, or maybe an engine storage facility. I'm not sure, but I don't want to put anything all the way up to the top, and I want to leave a little bit of room for a backdrop or something back there. That section of straight track I have there, that's actually a 3-foot real section of flex track, microengineering flex track. So that's just giving me an idea of how much space I have and where I want to put these things and how much space I really need. Definitely heard that you want to have more, whatever yard space you think you need, you probably want more than that. So I'm probably building more, at least in my mind, how much I think I need, with 3 yard sections that are going to be 3 or 4 feet long each. Maybe too much at this point, but who knows? Maybe years down the line, I'll be glad I did it. So this is kind of where I'm thinking I'm going to end up with it. But let me give you guys a little bit of commentary on that. Okay, yeah, one thing I've been doing here the last couple of days is kind of experimenting with different placement of all these. Once I got the idea of how the layouts were going to be configured, it was just a matter of, where do I want to put it? So you can slide it down a few inches one way or the other, try to figure some things out. So I may end up continue to do that a little bit. I'm not too concerned about this one, which is only a couple of turnouts, or even because it is only a couple of turnouts there. So that's going to be easy to move. The ones back here are a little more complicated because the curve is important, for tying into the curve over here. So I want to get that right. This section right here is definitely the most complicated, because there's 6 turnouts right here. And each one of them is going to need to have wires dropped to it, potentially put on a control panel. So lots of work here, and I don't want to put it in here and then, months or years later decide, man, it would be nice if I moved it 2 or 3 inches one way or the other. So I want to make sure I get it as close to right as I can. Later, if I need to move it a foot or 2 or 3 one way or the other, I can do that. I'd be more comfortable with that. But just trying to get it right the first time, obviously, and get the spacing right. So it's nice to be able to kind of move it in here and see how that goes. So let me show you one more thing that I'm going to be doing. Okay, so the next thing I'll be doing on here at some point is adding paint to the top of the shelf here. Pink. This pink foam is probably not too natural a color for the roll. I'm sure there is natural things out there that are like that, but I'm going to go with a nice brown that I used over on the Peninsula section. This is from Home Depot. This is what color is it? Rave Raisin, kind of cool color name. So it's kind of just basically a brown. I went to the paint samples and picked out a brown color, and I got this in matte. And so I'll be in a matte finish, so I'll probably be using this to paint over the entire section, all of the exposed pink foam all the way around. This is just a color sample section. It's 8 ounces, and it took almost all this just to paint this. So I'm probably going to need 16 ounces or so to paint everything on here and at least get the top part done. So that will be my next task, another trip to Home Depot. All right, so that will do it for Quartzville Railroad video number 6. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you would you consider subscribing to my channel? Just hit the subscribe button below, and that way you'll be notified of all the future videos that I have as I continue to build the in-scale model railroad layout of my dreams in my shed back there. So have a great day.